cooled off. That's awesome. Let's go to Galatians 5:22. Talking about the fruit of the Spirit. You know, what's amazing is the fruit of the Spirit is the produce or the production or what the Spirit of God in us will produce. What's amazing is how that'll help us to overcome a lot of other stuff. If we let the power of God be at work in us, you know, we don't have to work as hard to not sin or to not, having a bad attitude or being, being rude towards other people or just letting other people bother us. If you have, let's look at what these are. The Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. You know, I tell you, it's funny. I say all the time, don't, anything that God says we have, we want. It doesn't matter. But people joke all the time, don't pray for patience, boy, you'll have all kinds of problems. And I had a lady after the service joking about that, and she's a sweet lady, but retired nurse, and she said, man, as a nurse, you never ask for patience because you'll have three, whatever she said, three things you didn't really want on your right before your shift ends or whatever. Well, we don't necessarily have to ask for these things because they are a part of us. Now, we cultivate those or care for those, or we increase or enhance those by yielding to them, asking the Lord to have the fruit of the Spirit evident in my life. But part of the value or the way that this kicks in is just by us simply realizing what we have. We have the love of God in us, and this is a capacity to love as well as receiving the love that God has for us. Also a joy that's not conditional. It's a joy that's not, controlled by our circumstances or other things. It's not happiness depending on happenings. It's a joy that comes as a fruit or product of the Holy Spirit being in us, and a peace and a patience and an understanding and a strength and a kindness and a goodness. There's all these things, a faithfulness, these things that will begin to rise up and be there in our lives, be strong in our lives, be evident in our lives, having self-control, having all those things that will make us, and because of them, make our life better. They make us better. They enable us to just to enjoy even less than ideal situations. All right, make us content where we're at. Make us bold when we need to be strong. Not as strong or not overbearing at other times. Giving us an ability to deal with situations, deal with people. I'm thinking some of you that may work in in sales or in services and where you're having to deal with people, retail or something like that. Where you're dealing with people all the time. And I tell you what, having an ability to walk in these fruits, but it may be that you need these just to live in your home and do just small things. There's times when these are easy to walk in. There's times when it's difficult to walk in. The wonderful thing is they're not all dependent on us. They're a product of the Holy Spirit at work in us. And so by recognizing these and getting ourselves in agreement with what God has said about us, and even beyond what you can understand or before you can understand it, either way you look at it, you can have these operating in your life and you'll begin to notice them, begin to recognize, wow, I have an ability to love somebody who's unlovable, pretty unlovable, somebody who's pretty bristly or just hard to get along with. Now, what's the value of that? God's love operating in us, it changes our motives, it changes our motivations, it changes, it gives us the ability to do what God says to do oftentimes, because we have an ability to do something good for somebody who, they may not deserve it. They may not have earned it. Kind of like us. We didn't deserve it, or can't earn it. God's love for us, and if we can extend that to someone else, well, you say, well, what's that look like? The ability to pray for somebody who, Jesus said, pray for your enemies, bless your enemies, pray for those who despitefully use you. Pray for them, and don't just pray, Lord, I pray. Something that you might pray that they get a better job so they're not working in your area, or Lord, promote them, way to get them out of your workspace, your work area. But in all seriousness, prayer, the power of prayer over situations like that. I remember having people that I worked with that at different times that were very difficult, or maybe my kids had a classmate or somebody that they were having trouble with. And you wanna be angry and fight against that with in the flesh, but instead we do it God's way and pray and work that way. Maybe and that ties in with that word kindness and goodness and faithfulness. And so, without breaking all these down today, we might look at them some more as we go through the week. But just think about it. Just ask yourself, or just ask the Lord, say, God, help the fruit of the Spirit be evident in my life. Help it flow in and through me. And Lord, cause me to learn, realize, experience, and see the fruit of the Spirit in operation in my life. And here's the thing. As these things begin to work and operate, some of the other things that are a problem will fall away. And so some of the other areas of life that maybe get you, amped up or stress you out, or, the stress begins to go when you can walk in kindness and love towards somebody. A meekness that's not weakness, but strength under control, gives you an ability to not be affected by some of these other things. And so so go out today and be blessed. Ask God to show the fruit of the Spirit. Make it evident in my life, oh God, and help me to walk in all that you have for me. And make that your prayer today, and go out and be blessed. Go get them for Jesus.